welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about Chinese water dragons and what to do when they lose their appetite and possible reasons that they are not eating. So I've had my Chinese water dragon Jade just a bit over a year now, and throughout the winter, Jade wasn't eating very much. And I did some research. I looked into reasons why Chinese water dragons may stop eating or start eating less. So I'm just going to talk about those reasons now in case you are coming across the same thing. And I think even if your Chinese water dragon is currently eating, or if you don't even have a Chinese water dragon yet but are planning to get one, these are really helpful things to know and warning signs to look out for. So of course, feeding a Chinese water dragon a good diet is really important for their overall health, for their happiness and their quality of life. There are a lot of reasons that contribute to a Chinese water dragon not eating, and I'm going to go into these reasons in more detail, but briefly it can do with the temperature, humidity, boredom, constipation, parasites, a new environment, and winter. Chinese water dragons are often known to be picky eaters, meaning that they get bored with their diet pretty easily. It's important to feed them a variety of foods, so a variety of insects, and rotate them instead of giving them the same thing all the time. Keep it interesting, keep it exciting, give them lots of variety. If your Chinese water dragon is new and you've just brought it home and it's not eating, that is really normal. It can take up to 2 weeks for your Chinese water dragon to feel safe and comfortable and start eating. Chinese water dragons can be really shy, so in a new environment, they may just not be brave enough or comfortable enough to eat. So for the first 2 weeks or so, they may spend most of their time hiding. For signs of stress in your Chinese water dragon, if they are hiding, if they are nose rubbing, running into the glass or walls, and you shouldn't have glass in your tank first of all, but if they're running into those walls or if they're inactive, these can all be signs of stress. So if this is occurring, what you need to do is just leave your Chinese water dragon alone. Don't try to touch them or handle them. Provide places for your Chinese water dragon to hide and feel safe and comfortable, and give your Chinese water dragon privacy. Let them gain their confidence in their new environment and with you. Another reason that your dragon may not be eating is that the humidity is too low. If they are spending a lot of time in a really cool spot, indigestion and lack of appetite can occur. Other signs of low humidity are not shedding well, not moving around too much, turning brown or being darker in color, and hiding in the cool spot of their tank. To prevent this from happening, keep your humidity between 70 and 80%. Use foggers and misters on a timer to ensure that you don't forget to spray your tank and that there's consistent and constant water creating humidity. Use substrate and soil that can hold humidity, and use live plants in your tank. Live plants help keep humidity. Another reason is that the temperatures in your tank are either too low or too high. Inadequate temperatures can cause indigestion, and when your dragon has indigestion, they will not want to eat anymore. If you hear that barking, that's Penny, and she wants to be let in the room. If the temperature is too high for your dragon can become very tired and lethargic. They can become weak and not want to eat. They'll have no appetite. The best temperatures in your enclosure will be high in their basking spot. There'll be a medium level and then a low level that is cool. So you'll have a gradient of temperatures. Overall, temperatures of the enclosure should range around 27 Celsius to 30 Celsius, or 81 Fahrenheit to 87 Fahrenheit. In the basking spot, the temperature can range up to 95 Fahrenheit or 35 Celsius. So this is the hottest point of the enclosure, while the coldest parts of your enclosure, the coolest, should be no lower than 75 Fahrenheit or 23 Celsius. Also keep in mind that the water in the enclosure that you have for your Chinese water dragon is also heated. The water should be at least 80 degrees Fahrenheit and 27 Celsius. So this means that you will need multiple lamps and light fixtures in your enclosure, heating your enclosure. Depending on where you live and what your room is like and the temperatures that are in your home, you will need to adjust the lighting and figure out what works for you. I really suggest getting a temperature gun and checking different areas of your enclosure throughout the day at different times, just to always keep maintenance and keep checking in. Some Chinese water dragons will go through Burmation, which is not hibernation, but similar. They will eat a little less and have less energy and are less active in the winter or the cooler months. Chinese water dragons don't need to do this, and they don't really do this in the wild, but in areas where winter and summer is vastly different, your Chinese water dragon may do this. This is something that I have found. I've only had my Chinese water dragon for a year. I'm going on the second summer with Jade, but for the first winter, Jade definitely slowed down. It also drops in temperature quite a bit where I live, and there's a drastic difference between summer and winter. If your Chinese water dragon does do this, don't force them to eat, but always have food available for them and provide food. They should be eating. They should not stop eating for winter. They might just eat less. Another reason your Chinese water dragon may not be eating anymore is because they are constipated or they have gut impaction. This is often caused from loose substrate, so if you have soil that is loose and drier, or from large feeder insects. If their poo is really smelly or they're having trouble going, this can be a sign that they are experiencing this. To prevent this, don't use a loose substrate. Don't use fine soil or something that's dusty. If you do have loose substrate, cover those areas with bark or stones to prevent your dragon from ingesting the little pieces. Also, don't offer whole prey to your Chinese water dragon if it's very large. Always provide drinking water and often treat for parasites, especially if you notice they're having trouble going to the bathroom. Another reason your Chinese water dragon may not be eating is because they are bored of their diet. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, they can be picky eaters because they like variety, and if you feed them the same thing too often, they will get bored. Try offering them something new, something exciting, maybe something they haven't had before. There are a variety of different worms that they can eat. I feed mine mealworms, superworms, phoenix worms, waxworms, and red wigglers. They can also eat crickets. Just be aware that all food has different values in calories and fat and protein and calcium, so be sure that you don't feed too much of one thing. Again, variety is very important, not because they'll get bored, but because they'll have a wide range of nutrients. Also, provide your dragon with different ways of eating. Let them hunt and chase some food, like crickets, instead of having everything always in a bowl. Try hand feeding them sometimes. Let them search for their food a little bit sometimes. Switch it up, keep it interesting. Again, variety. If you have a female water dragon, she may not be eating because she is gravid, which means that she has eggs. This won't happen until about 2 years of age and can happen even if your dragon doesn't mate with a male. If you notice your dragon digging or a little extra round around the belly, this is probably the reason. And a loss of appetite is normal around this stage. When a female dragon is gravid, it also loses energy and is a lot less active. Don't force your dragon to eat, but provide the options there if they want it. Be extra careful with the humidity and the temperatures and keep everything at the correct amounts. Provide a lot of protein or insects that are high in protein, and make sure that there is water available and maybe an area where your dragon can dig and lay the eggs. If your dragon isn't eating, your dragon may also be sick. A loss of appetite is a common symptom of a sickness. That's why it's really important to discover the reasons or the root cause of why your dragon isn't eating, so you can possibly rule out sickness and correct the temperatures or the humidity or whatever it is. Some illnesses that can also cause loss of appetite is mouth rot, metabolic disease, and if you know any wheezing, or if their mouth is constantly left open, or if there's any mucus around the nose or the eyes or the mouth, then this is probably a bigger issue and you definitely have to take your dragon to the vet. You should feed adult water dragons about every 2 days and juveniles every day. In my case, Jade was eating a lot less because it was winter, the temperatures were cooler, and she didn't go into brumation for 2 months or all winter, but she definitely did slow down, become a lot less active, and eat less. So this winter I'm going to add another light to ensure that the temperatures stay the same temperature that they do in the summer, because I won't have the same heat in the house that I do in the summer. But I hope this video was helpful and you have a happy, healthy water dragon. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.